My trip from Nairobi to Kigali was supposed to be a fun trip, but I saw premium shaggy on this trip, and I really don't know if I'll be coming back to Nairobi. That was not the initial plan, but here we are, and I'm going to walk you through the journey, how it all happened, everything that happened. I felt so bad, I felt so pained, and let's talk about it. Let me walk you through the journey, all that happened, all that transpired, and why I arrived at this decision. So I'm going on this trip using the Modern Coast Transportation Company after I tried to book with Trinity, and I got their official number on Facebook. I checked the Facebook, I saw everything was it. It wasn't a scam page, and then I called the number like, okay, I want to book a trip for Nairobi to Kigali on Sunday, and the person was like, "Okay, let me check if there is a booking available. If the bus is not full." And I'm like, "Okay, sure." So he called back and said, "Oh, there is space. We can go. I can book the ticket." I'm like, "Okay, fine." I made payment of 5,500. I was speaking with this guy back and forth before I made payment. Like called him like 4 times, and he also called me, and I'm like, "Okay, maybe this is it. Maybe this is not scam." But after sending the money, immediately I couldn't call this guy anymore. Number had blocked me, and I'm like, what is going on? So, I got my money back, of course, because I reached out to M-Pesa company, and then they said reversal and everything, and then they reversed my money. But that's not the issue here. This is gonna be in another video. I'm gonna talk in details about that. But yeah, I decided to go with Modern Coast, and then I went to CBD to buy my ticket because, of course, I'm not gonna be scammed twice. So I bought my ticket and I was ready to go. But the thing is, I couldn't get a ticket for Sunday. I could get a ticket for the same day because my visa was expiring on Sunday. And if I was to go with the Sunday bus, I'm definitely going to overstay because we would be there. We're leaving CBD at 7 p.m., so we would be there after midnight. And I didn't want any issues with border, I don't want any problem with visa and everything. So I'm like, okay, I would take the 7 p.m. Vehicle for the same day. So I had to rush back home at around 3 p.m. I rushed back home, but put together my things. I had just like 30 minutes to 40 minutes to put together my things to travel. So I put together my things and I was ready for this trip. And I hurried back to the park because I was supposed to be at their bus park by 6:30, so we could leave by 7. Wow, so on getting there, they said, oh, the bus is going to delay for a bit, so we would need to just be patient. So we left there, say, like 8 p.m., which was still really okay. So we started this journey and we got to Nanyuki, which was the first stop where they said we could have dinner. And I think we got to Nanyuki around 9. Anyway, I'm not sure of the time again. Anyway, we arrived at Nanyuki. I had some rice with beef stew, and I also had some samosa and the mandazi for the way, in case I get hungry and I want to buy something. So I had gotten those for the way. So at around 5:45 a.m., we arrived at the Busia border, and it was time to, stamp out of Kenya and enter Uganda and continue my journey to Rwanda. Only for me to get to this Uganda border. One thing I wished was that I wished I actually did cut my journey in short, like from Nairobi to Busia, from Busia to maybe from Busia straight to um, Rwanda. Of course, that would have been better because at this point at 5:45 a.m. I was already tired. My heart was hurting, and I'm like, oh my god, I wish I could just go home and stay with my in-laws for this night, and then I could continue the journey. But anyway, we're here already, so yeah, that was that. So to cross through Uganda to Rwanda, this was where this whole mess started. So to cross the border from Kenya to Uganda, I was told that I had to pay for visa, Uganda visa to cross. And I'm like, my destination is not Uganda. I'm not going to Uganda. I'm just passing through. I'm on transit. It sounded so strange to me because this is not the first time I'm traveling. If I'm traveling, I'm going from Nigeria to Ghana, I pass through Benin, I pass through Togo. These people don't ask you for anything. They just stamp your visa and you're on your way because you're just passing through. So it was shocking to me, like, wait, what? I have to pay you guys for visa to pass through your country, which I am not staying in. I'm like, wow. So they're like, yeah, that's how it is. If you don't get the visa, you can't pass through. You either have to go by flight. And I'm like, what are you guys even talking about? So, anyways, a lot happened. Like I said, this was where the mess started. A lot happened, and then they were just tossing it back and forth. You can't pass. And I don't know what it is with Nigerian passport. When people see Nigerian passport, it's like they feel like, oh, this person, now they see you as money. Now this person is money. You have to give us some money. They just want to extort you in every way that they can. Like, they don't like you, but they like your money, and they want some of that money. And I'm like, really? So, anyways, so before embarking on this trip, I had watched a lot of YouTube videos on Nigerians that have traveled from Nairobi to Kigali. So, no one mentioned that you have to pay for visa in Uganda to cross Uganda, because except of course you have a East African visa where your first stop is Kenya, then you've stopped in Kenya, then you're traveling to Uganda and Rwanda. If not, just get the Uganda visa online, and that is when you can cross. Because what happened to me was that the Uganda visa is $50. Now, when I got there, people are like, no, you have to pay. And after paying the $50, you have to add us some extra something. But this extra something is not like something from your heart. Like, okay, I paid, let's say the $50 was like 5,000 to 6,000 Kenyan shillings. So I'm giving you that, and then I just feel like, okay, just take this extra 1,000 or take this extra 2,000. No, they tell you the amount. They wanted 12,000 Kenyan shillings. For what? Did I steal anything? No. Did I carry anything here? No. Am I going to Uganda to stay there? No. I'm just passing through, and you want to take your old 12,000, Kenyan shillings, which was about $110 or $105. Wow. Anyways, we kept going back and forth. I'm like, no, I'm not paying that. I don't have that. I'm not even going to Uganda. I am going to Kigali, which is visa-free for Nigerians. Why are you guys doing this? I showed them my tickets, my bus ticket, which shows that I'm going to Kigali. No, these people were just like, no, you have to pay. You have to pay for the visa, or, stand and do the visa online. It was on a Sunday morning, right? How do you get a visa when you're already at the border? On a Sunday, the visa takes a day or two, right? So they knew that, first of all, my Kenya visa was expiring that day. Second of all, I can't get Ugandan visa that moment online, which is supposed to be $50, so I don't have to spend the extra $60. So they knew all these things, and they all, felt like, yes, we're going to take this money today, or she's not going to go. So I paid after the whole back and forth. The drivers, the Modern Coast drivers and their staff were all very helpful. They tried to talk to them, like, okay, can we pay this, let her pay. Okay, she said she has 10,000 Kenyan shillings, which I think, honestly, if those people are not just thieves, which I feel was okay, because the dollar, they even cheated me on the $50, guys. Anyway, I had to cough out 12,000 Kenyan shillings just to pass through Uganda, just to transit through Uganda, which I found very, very annoying and ridiculous. Now, when I talk about Uganda, you guys will be like, oh, this and that, she's biased, she doesn't like Uganda. You guys will start shouting. And I'm still going to talk, because there's nothing you can do, because that country is a mess. It is shitty. It is full of scams and thieves at the border. And yes, I said it. Because honestly, what is this bullshit? Anyways, they still wanted more. Even after the 12,000, they still wanted more, saying that they are not sure I'm going to Rwanda. And I'm like, this is my bus ticket. Look at it. I even forgot my bus ticket there after the whole thing. Like, this is my ticket. I'm going to Kigali, for goodness sake. Look at my friend I'm going to meet. This is our number. This is our chat and everything. But because these people were just hell-bent on taking my money, I ended up paying all that money. I will really never understand Africa and the evil we do to ourselves. We're all blacks. I'm from Nigeria. This is just Uganda, one small country here. I will never understand why you have to rip people off and take so much money from them because they are traveling through Africa. And we're talking about the African dream where one day there will be no more borders, there will be, freedom and love between us. I really don't see it. I really do not know it. I really do not know if it's going to be possible because this African dream is really not looking like something that will ever be a reality. Just because of the greed of some set of people, this might never come to pass. But you know what? I actually got a change of heart just when I got back to the bus. Something happened, and then I'm like, okay, maybe it really can come to pass. Maybe it will come to pass because of the kindness of some people and, the love that some people have for other people. I'm just really grateful to Modern Coast and their staff because they did so much for me that night. They were with me, they stood by me, even though they couldn't help me avoid paying all that money, but they were really there talking to these people back and forth. Okay, later give you 10,000, later give you 11,000, and all of that. And yeah, I was really like grateful for that. So now I've gotten the Ugandan visa because I had to pay. I've gotten the visa and it's time to go back to Kenya because Kenya was like, they can't stamp me out. They are not sure that Uganda would stamp me in. So I needed to get the Uganda visa first before I could be stamped out. I said, okay, no problem. So after getting the Ugandan visa, I went back to the Kenya side to be stamped out of Kenya. And the people on the shift had changed. Initially, there were two people. They were young, a man and a woman. But now it had changed and it's one old woman and one old man. And of course, when you see those old, greedy people, you already know what's about to go down. So these people were like, oh, okay, now you've, what's happening? What's going on? I had to, narrate everything. And I'm like, I'm going out of Kenya. Please stamp me out. Let me go. The bus, I had kept the bus waiting for 4 hours. At this point, it was 3 hours plus, and it was getting to 4 hours. And I'm like, oh my God. Stamp me out. Let me go. Then they said, oh, today is the 3rd and your visa is expiring on the 3rd. You were supposed to leave the country yesterday being the 2nd. So your visa has expired. And I'm like, what? My visa expired. Okay, let's even say my visa expired, which it didn't. So because these people had already seen the situation, oh, she has given these people 12,000 Kenyan shillings. And we'll take our share. We must take our share. And I'm like, so what do you want me to do now? Because I have to go. I have to leave this place. I can't. They're like, okay, you need to give us 5,000 Kenyan shillings. And I'm like, 5,000 again? When it's not like I entered Kenya illegally or I've done anything wrong in Kenya. I've not done anything wrong. Why do you want me to pay you that kind of money? So the old woman, then I told the man, like, see my situation. I've spent all the money that I have. I came to Kenya to be with your Kenyan brother that said he loves me, and we're trying to work things out, and fine, we're working on marriage and everything, but getting married is not beans. You cannot go to Nigeria alone and then say you want to marry a wife. To go to Nigeria to get married a wife, you go with your family, your mom, your dad, your siblings, your uncles. You don't go to Nigeria to marry alone. No, nobody does that. You have to go with bride price. You have to go with a lot of items that are part of the bridal things that you're supposed to come with. So we're working on all that, and no, this is the situation. I felt so bad. The man was like, you're coming to be with the Kenyan man. And I'm like, what is the problem with that? What is the issue? Like, what did I do wrong here? At this point, I was moved to tears. I started crying, not because of the money that I spent, but because I felt humiliated. Because this man looked at me and was like, I'm going to be with a Kenyan man. Why has he not married you? This one, that one. Why do you have to come here and you think you can stay here because you're in love with a Kenyan man? At this point, I had 100 and something in my M-Pesa. There was no money in it. And there was no way I could get money that I don't have because this people have collected my money. So I was so tired with your situation that I'm like, okay, I'm not going to argue this with you guys. If you want 3,000, just get it and let me go. So I called my sister-in-law. She was in Busia at the time. And I called and I'm like, please just send me 3,000. You know, all I could say was, hello sis, I'm at the border and I am so tired, because I already told I was going to Rwanda and I am so tired. She was like, oh, what happened and everything. I'm like, I couldn't talk again. At this point, I couldn't talk again. I couldn't speak. I just said, send me 3,000, because I was already crying and I just couldn't. So she was like, oh, what's going on? Is everything okay? I didn't answer. I was like, mm-hmm. She was like, I should send you 3,000, right? I said, mm-hmm. So I dropped the call and I also texted my fiance that just send me 3,000. At this point, I can't explain anything anymore. I'm not in the mood to explain anything. Just send me 3,000 and let me sort this people. So in a few minutes, my sister-in-law sent the 3,000 and I paid these people, and I could now go. So when they were after paying the money to them, they were like, oh, if not that they already stamped, if not that I already got the Ugandan visa, I'm not supposed to be in East Africa for more than 6 months altogether. So whether I go to Kenya, Rwanda, Uganda, I can't stay for more than 6 months. I'm like, who even put these stupid rules in place? We are all Africans. Like, I can't imagine the stress that I have had to go through since last year, November, just because, you know, I'm in love with a Kenyan man and I want to be with this man. They're like, oh, where is the man? Why is he not here with you? How come you're traveling alone? Oh my God. That day, they just made me start thinking about a lot of things that were moving me to tears. Like, anyways, I said, this is the 3,000. Can you stamp it now so I go? And the man was like, okay, yeah, just know that next time this is not going to, we're not going to let you go. This. We'll send you back to Jomo Kenyatta so that you can take a flight back to Nigeria, because you're supposed to go back to Nigeria, not anywhere else. Like, who says that? Anyways, a few minutes later, he also sent the money. So I had 6,000 in my account. I paid this people 3,000. I was ready to go. So we started heading back to the bus. Now, when I arrived back in the bus, I mean, it was only proper to apologize to people because they've been at that border. We got to the border 5:45 a.m. And at this point, it was around 6, 7, 8, 9. I think it was around 9 going to 10 o'clock. Yes, it was getting to 10 o'clock. So I just apologized to everybody that I'm so sorry. I mean, my issue has kept everybody waiting here. I'm really sorry, you know. And people were like, oh, it's okay. Are you okay? We're worried about you. I'm like, really? I was so surprised. Like, these people are so kind. We're worried about me. I kept you all waiting here for 4 hours. I mean, it was not my doing, of course, but trust me, I've been on the road trip from Nigeria to Ghana before, and whenever anybody has an issue at the border and then that person keeps everybody else waiting for like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, is always an issue. People are always like, what the hell? You know, you kept us waiting. It's because of you we're still here. So I expected that I expected that response from people. But to my amazement, people were like, oh, we're so sorry. Are you okay? This is how these people are. They are so corrupt. Is everything fine? You know, somebody even said, we were so worried about you. Is everything okay? Like I said, I already was giving up on the African dream until I got back to the bus, and then this happened, and then another thing happened. So the place, my seat where I was sitting before, there was this man that was sitting beside me. When I arrived, it was no longer there. It was a lady that was now sitting there. This lady should be in her teens, should be 15 or 16. So when I got back, you know, everything was still replaying in my head, and then I was just crying. I honestly was just crying. I had this wrapper that I bought from Uganda, and I was just needing to wipe my tears. I was just crying as if somebody had beaten me, because I felt so frustrated with the whole thing. Imagine when you've not committed any crime, you were given visa to enter a country, and then you had to pay all that money because you were alone. You were a lady, you were alone, you are a woman, and you're a Nigerian. It's so bad. It is so bad. I never wish this on my enemy. I never wish anybody else goes through this, but it was really terrible. So I got back to the bus and I was just, I just went to my seat and I was really just crying. And a few minutes later, this lady was like, "Auntie, are you okay? Is everything okay?" And I said, "Yes, I'm okay. I'm okay." I tried my possible best to wipe my tears and relax, and I told her that I was okay. I was just upset. She's like, "No, you're not okay. You're crying." And I'm like, "Yes, I'm crying because I'm upset. I'm upset. I'm frustrated." She was like, "Okay, take my watch. Let me show you guys the watch." What is it? She was like, "Okay, take my watch so that please stop crying." And I'm like, how is a watch supposed to wipe my tears? But I feel like she didn't know what else to do. She didn't know, yeah, here. She didn't know what else to do. So she was like, "Please take my watch. Please stop crying. This is it." I don't know. I'm like, I've never even worn it. I think it's now I want to wear it. And I'm like, "I don't even know you. Why are you giving me your watch?" She's like, "Please just take it. Please stop crying." And then I had to just relax and wipe my tears. So after a few minutes, I decided to use some what's it called now? Some painkillers because my head was aching. Everything was wrong with me. I was feeling hot. So I used this painkiller and and she was like, "Why are you taking medicine when you've not eaten? You've not eaten. Why are you using medicine?" And I'm like, "I'm fine. I'm okay. I ate at Nairobi the previous night." And she was like, "That was last night." Then she opened the bag and brought out some money. I think it was 500 Kenyan shillings. Was it 500 or 200? I wasn't sure because I didn't even look at the money. And she was trying to give it to me that, "Please take so that you can eat because they've collected all your money." And I'm like, "Wait, what? I don't even know you. We were not even sitting together before now. Why are you so kind? Why are you giving me money to eat?" She said, "Because they've collected all your money and you need to eat. You need to eat so that you can feel better. You don't take medicine without eating." At this point, I'm like, my goodness, who is this person? Who is this person? And she was like, "Please take it." It got to a point we were dragging the money. I was like, "No, I don't want it." She was like, "Please take it." "I don't want it. Take it. I don't want it." I'm like, "I can't take your money. I can't take your money. I'm supposed to be giving you money. Why will I take your money? You're way younger than me." She was like, "No, it's not about that. We have to be kind to each other. If I have an issue, you would help me. You will be kind to me. So I need to be kind to you. That is how we're supposed to be as humans." Oof, whoever has raised this girl has done a really, really great job. And I don't know. I don't know what, like, the more she was doing that, the more I was I was crying, like, oh God. Anyways, I told her that in order to, make her forget about them, because I wasn't going to take that money. No, never, no. So I told her that, "You know what? Once we get to Kampala, you can buy me food. I'm not going to take your money." So she was like, "Okay." She'll buy me food, no problem. So as we were driving along, there was a stop. So she called the corn seller to come and sell me corn maize. And I'm like, I don't want. She actually bought it as if it was for her, and then she broke it into two and said I should take. And I'm like, "No, I don't want." I wasn't even hungry. I was just upset. I was like, "No, I'm not hungry. I don't want to eat." And she said, "Okay, no problem." So I was actually hoping she'll forget about the food, buying me food and whatever. So a few moments later, we stopped, and then they said we should have breakfast. And then I looked at her like, is she looking at me? Your guess is as good as mine. She was looking at me, and she was like, yeah, let's go and eat. Let's go and eat." And I'm like, she was so alive. She was so like, and I'm like, Okay, no problem. Because at this point, we had already dragged so much that if I dragged any further, it was going to, seem somehow. So I'm just like, okay, let's go. So we got down. She ordered. She was like, "What do you want to eat?" I said, "I'm not even really hungry. Maybe I'll just have hot tea." So I ordered for hot tea. She ordered for chapati for me, and then I said, "Oh, Novida. I like Novida. I think that's the only thing I like from Uganda." So I saw Novida and I'm like, okay, I'll have Novida so that I can drink it on the way. So I had tea, chapati, and I took the Novida. I couldn't even eat the chapati, like, I didn't even finish one. She ordered for two. So I told them to pack it because I didn't want it to be like I wasted the money. I told them to pack it. So I drank the tea, and she was watching me the whole time, making sure that I ate, that I drank the tea. And I'm like, I will drink it, don't worry. So I drank the tea, and we went back to the bus and we're ready to continue our journey. So this girl paid for my food, even though I didn't ask for it. Nobody else on the bus bothered to say, "Oh, have you eaten? What will you eat?" I didn't even expect it. I didn't think anybody would even think that. So I initially wanted to give up on this African dream, but this girl revived something in me that if only we can be kind to one another, we would get there someday. We would get there to have this Africa where, it's borderless, it's filled with love for one another. You can travel from East Africa to West Africa to North Africa to South Africa, and you will be just an African. You won't be a Nigerian, a Kenyan, an Ugandan, or Ethiopian, whatever. You just be an African that is welcomed in other African countries. I hope we get there someday. I really do hope so. This trip has been really, really something else for me. I think this has been my worst trip ever. And yeah, but we move. So a few more hours, we got to Kampala. She's alighting at Kampala. She says her mom is in Kenya, but she's not feeling well, so she's going for treatments in Kampala. Someone that is not feeling well, they're still looking after somebody else. I cannot understand it. I don't know when last I got this kind of kindness from somebody. So at the end of the day, it's just good to be good, and good things will come your way. So I told her, okay, that's fine, let's keep in touch. I wanted her number. She said she doesn't even have a phone. She doesn't even have a phone. That's to tell you how young she is. So I think maybe she's going to get a phone at 18 or something. So she said she'll give me her sister's number so that we could keep in touch. So I collected her sister's number. Her name is Joanne, and we exchanged pleasantries, and she highlighted. But before she highlighted, you know what? She was like, "Now I'm ready to go. Is there anything else that you need from me before I go?" And I'm like, "It's okay. I'm fine. I'm really fine." If there was nothing at all that would make me fine that day, just the kindness of this one person made me absolutely fine. And I told her I'm fine. It's okay. So she left, and we continued. Well, no, we didn't continue. We actually had to have a stopover there. So when everybody that was going to Kampala alighted, we stopped over at Kampala. They said we got there like 1 p.m. or so. So we had to wait till 5 p.m. to continue the journey. They said they were going to service the bus and all that. So I just alighted. There was a place, a sitting area where we could sit, eat, and all of that. So I just stayed there. I wasn't even looking to eat because I was not even hungry. I was just there. I was feeling sick. I was feeling sick in my stomach. It's not like sickness, like it's just, I don't know how to explain it. I was really, really just, my stomach was unsettled, and I was just there. So the driver, because when we got from Nairobi to Kampala, there was one driver. So I assumed there's another driver that would take us from Kampala to Kigali. Now, this driver came up to me when I was sitting there. I looked for somewhere to charge my power bank because I don't want my phone to go off. And I downloaded some movies before I left Nairobi, so that would just keep me company. So I just looked for somewhere. I was charging my power bank. Then the driver came. I was like, "How am I doing?" and everything. That he saw me at the border, and it was really, really. It felt so terrible that he was just thinking, what if this person is my wife? What if it's my wife being treated like this at the border? But he couldn't even approach them because the way those immigration officers are, they know that what they are doing is wrong, and you that you want to approach them, you know that what they are doing is wrong. But when you do that, they feel like, oh, now this person wants to stop stop us from getting this money and all of that and everything. So he couldn't do that, but he felt so pained just watching me spend all that money and crying, frustrated and everything. So it was like, what happened and what. And I told him, I came here because of your Kenyan brother, but right now he's not around, and I have to travel to Rwanda to meet with my Nigerian sister and just be there for a couple of days or weeks. And all of this is happening. I'm passing through Uganda, and they want me to pay for passing through Uganda $50, and they collected $110. And he was like, "Did they give me a receipt for the visa?" I said yes. And I opened it. I showed it to him. It was $50 they wrote on it. He said, "Those people just extorted you. They just saw that you were alone, you're a lady, and you're Nigerian, and they did that." And I'm like, "It's okay. It's okay. I have seen what it is." I mean, so he was like, "You should take me to the restaurant. I should go and eat." I'm like, I'm not hungry. I'm okay. I'm really just okay. I don't want to eat anything." I said, "Okay, even if it's tea or chapati." And I'm like, I don't want to keep refusing. So I said, "Okay, fine. You should take me there." So he took me there. He ordered for tea. I ordered for black tea. I had the black tea, and it was like, "I should eat anything I want." I said, "No, I'm really fine. My stomach is not okay. I'm feeling sick in my stomach, so I can't just eat right now." So he was like, "Is there anybody I want to talk to, back home? You should give me his Wi-Fi password and everything." And I'm like, "Oh my God, that is fine. I would accept that." So he connected me to his Wi-Fi, and I was able to talk to my friend who I was going to be with in Kigali. I was able to talk to my fiance. I was able to talk to my sister-in-law that I'm fine, I'm okay, so that I just don't have people worried and all of that. So yeah, it was great to have some people be kind at that point, like, oh, so yeah. I drank my tea, and that was the only thing I could actually stomach at that point in time. So at 5:30 p.m., it's time to continue our journey. The second driver took over, and we had to stop over at Namirembe. They are parked at Namirembe to pick some more people, because almost half of the people in the bus had alighted at Kampala. So we had to pick the next set of people that were going to Kigali. So we stopped there for like 30 to 40 minutes. These people boarded the bus, and it was time to go. I'm just really grateful for every single one of these kind humans that I met on this trip. Despite what happened, despite the hurt and the pain that I feel so grateful to every single person that was kind to me on this trip. So at 5:50, it was 5:50, at 5:45 a.m., we arrived at Kigali border, Rwanda. As at 6:48, I was welcomed to Rwanda. So the immigration officer just asked the following questions: "Oh, where are you going to? Who are you going to be with? What's the person's contact? What does the person do? What do you do? And how long do you want to stay in Rwanda?" So I answered all those questions. He stamped my passport, and I'm like, that's it. That is it. This is where I'm coming to. I didn't even need to spend a penny to, enter this place. And these Ugandan people took my money for just passing through. So I had a lot of nights in shining sweater this day, as a lot of people were looking out for me. A lot of Rwandans, they already spoke to me when I was on the bus. Like, I already made a couple of friends who came up to me. We're so sorry about what happened. Don't worry, in Rwanda, you won't encounter such. Rwanda is a place free of corruption. Nobody's going to ask you for money and everything. And I'm like, okay, no problem. One even told me that if anybody at the immigration should ask you for money, you speak to me. I would speak with them, because this bullshit is not going to happen again on this trip. And I'm like, thank you so much. It's okay. So when I got to the border and I was stamped and I came out of the immigration office, I just saw different eyes, different people just expecting and looking forward. Like, is she coming? Is she coming? And then I came out and they were like, so what's up? And I'm like, I got in. Oh my god. It was just amazing how these strangers were just looking forward to not having any more issues. And then they were all smiles and like, yes, that's it, welcome to Rwanda. And and when we're just hanging around while other people stamped their passport. And someone said, let me read this. One of my newly acquired friends said this, because I don't want to mispronounce this. The person said, Karibu Mulakaza Nezamu Rwanda, which meant welcome to Rwanda. So we were all smiles. It was like, I've known these people for more than this couple of hours, and it was good. So we arrived at Gatuna border, which was the northern part of Rwanda, a place known to be cold all the time. It was really freezing. We could barely even see each other. Like, you can't even see our head. It was foggy, it was freezy, but it was good because I love places that are cold. So yeah, I think Rwanda is the place for now. So the drive from the border of Rwanda to Nyabugogo was 2 hours 30 minutes. So after 2 hours 30 minutes, we arrived at the bus park, and this is Rwanda. I'm here. Finally, this has been the worst trip ever. But I mean, it's okay. It's okay. Like I said, I'm in Rwanda now, and I'll be here for now. Let's see how it goes. Let's see. I don't know. They were saying all sorts of things at the border, like I can't come back to Kenya until I go to Nigeria before I can come back to Kenya. And I have no plans to go to Nigeria right now, so I don't know how it's gonna be. Let's just see how it's gonna be. I'm going to update you on the next, my next moves and whatnot. And I'm going to be creating more content about my trip to Rwanda, and also my being in Rwanda, and also to the next place I'm going to. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure to do so. Subscribe, like, comment, share. And for those of you that are watching for the first time, my name is Missy. You can call me the Black Coffee without cream or sugar. Yes. And I'm your travel and fashion content creator. So I'm going to see you in my next video. Do not forget, you create your own opportunities.